Hi everyone, welcome to Rick's 1/35 scale models. My name is Rick. Today I want to talk about a new model that just came in the mail. That is Rifield's new Leopard 2A7V. Now, I just built the border model 2A7V, and I found that to be an outstanding model. I'm getting ready to push out the final video on that, but as you can see, it's completed here. But I just got the Rifield kit in the mail, and I am very much impressed. It has a lot of great details, a lot of great features. I do have the PE sheet upgrade coming. That hasn't arrived yet, so I wasn't able to push that out with this video, but that should be here in the next few days. And then I'm going to start the build using the model itself and the upgrade kit to see the final results. But I do want to drive into the model real quick though. So Germany now has the Leopard 2AV in service, and they have quite a lot of them, a couple units using them, and it's an outstanding new tank. They've done a lot of upgrades. It's got the L55, but they have an upgraded new L55 on it. They've also added a lot more armor and a lot of other features. So the model itself depicts a lot of that with all the extra things the vehicle has. Not only for its safety, but also because they do a lot of training, a lot of things on it for the training purposes too, which I'll kind of cover in the video itself. Either way, let's dive in, look at the model, and see what it comes with. Okay, so let's dive into the instructions initially. You've got your cover art, your basic information here, nothing overly abnormal. They have a nice list of all your sprue sheets, different components. There are quite a lot. Little bitty parts to deal with, and then you go into the instructions, and they start like a lot of models. You've got the lower hull. I like how it has the multiple sections. These go together really nice. The biggest thing is to make sure that you get it all nice and snug, or you'll have fitting issues later on. The other issue here is because you're adding the plate underneath it, you've got to make sure you drill these pre-holes out, so that's something definitely not to forget. The second stage in there, it jumps right into options. Do you want to have the infantry radio holder open or closed? And then you have all your axles here, and then they've got a neat little component there where if you want them to move, you can cut the little notch off. If you want them not to move, you leave the notch on. Going up through here, you're going in through the different processes. You're already putting PE sheets on. I like how they have the convoy placard with the actual little PE sheet parts here. It's not a solid piece, so that's a nice detail. Your support systems. This kit has the newer hydraulic return bogey wheel or road wheel on the front here. You can tell by the difference in the back part right here. It's a hydraulic pump versus the older Leopards had a hand crank there with a big bar that sat right back here on the engine deck. They have that done correctly, and that's a nice feature also. Continuing on, you have your track links here. Now they require you to do 83 track links, everything I've read, and if I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but Leopard uses 82, so that's wrong, but they require 83. They also have on your rear Spectus system for the driver, the Spectus 2. You have your Spectus label here on a PE sheet. That's a neat feature. Not all of them have it. Some do, some don't, so you have the option here to flip it around one way or the other if you want it on or off. And then going through the sides, you have down here the reflectors, which the Germans refer to as cat eyes. They're on a little Velcro sheet. They can remove them during training so they don't lose them. I've talked to a couple different tankers from the Bundeswehr, and they talk about that. And then going into the front end of the lower hull, you have your Spectus. Once again, you have the label on here. You can either have it on or off depending on how you want. You know, put it this way out or flip it around if you don't want to show that label. You have your headlights, the protective guard here. This is a really nice design, the way the model company did this. And it's real solid and sturdy. Should work out nicely. Then you've got some open hatch options here. There's nothing on the no interior on this kit, but you do have these hatches that go on here. You also have the handles, which are PE sheets, so you can actually have a more accurate model out of the box on that issue. This kit comes with an upgrade on your siphoning hose here. You can either put the plastic one on, or with the early purchases you get an upgrade kit where you can make this a rubber hose, and it has plastic tips and all these little connection points, so a lot higher quality detail. The one thing they do have here, which is not on the roll tank but it's obviously for support, is this panel here. On the real model, or if you did an open interior, that would not be there, but that's something this model does have. You have your auxiliary generator here, which runs the tank when the tank's not, the motor's not running. That is a neat feature there. If you leave the hatch open, you have all the details. Continuing on, you have your mud flaps here. Now these are neat because they're that polystyrene, like the caps that you put inside the road wheels. You can fold them up or have them out. You also, because of this, you could fold them up and put them on the turret in the mounts, which I'll show later. It does give you that option. And then you've got your recovery hooks here. You've got the little bar that goes inside. That's a neat feature. A lot of models don't have that detail. This little part here, which sits on the heavier protective side skirt armor, is the mount for the hydraulic pump when they're adjusting the tensioners here in the front. It sits, you can see it here, it sits right here, and they hang the pump there. They connect the hoses to the little pump part I showed earlier, and that's how they can adjust the tension on the tracks. That's a neat feature. Once again, you can see the cat eyes here. All the different details for the model, lots of little PE sheets and added-ons to make it real nice. It does not have a metal barrel, so when you start doing the metal part, it's a plastic one, but it's still nice quality slide molding. I'll show that here shortly. And then going through the turret itself, I'm not sure if this will have a full interior at some point. Maybe, maybe not. There's no indications one way or the other on that I know of, but you do have, for example, the commander's hatch has the device down here with the parts on it, so that's a neat, hopefully telltale that they might have a full interior version coming out, but we'll see. And you're continue on building the turret. The turret on this model does not lock down. It's loose fitting, and they have the bar here, the ring with the gears, and your electric motor that sits right here. For that feature, you can see the assembly process. Then you have your, on the top of the turret, these toolboxes and supply and different equipment racks. Now when the Leopard 2A7V first went into service, it did not have this little ready rack here, which they put the spent round bases in to support, and they didn't have these boxes here. So if you want to do an early one, you're not going to add those features. Depending on when you're going to do the model, you're going to want to add it one way or the other. Then you have a lot of detail for your front stowage box for the their machine gun for the infantry, or not for the infantry, but their personal sidearms here. You have your commander's scope system here with lots of extra details, PE sheets to show the spaced armor it has on it, along with the windshield wipers and features that you don't see on most other models. Here you can see more of the turret, all the details you have to add on. This little part here, I'm not sure, I never have been able to find out what it is. It looks like an access point or something, but it's on the model in the extra P sheet, really nice feature. Then we continue on. Now we get to a point where the model is wrong. Now they have you putting on these snow grout mounts on the wing protectors on the sides of the turrets, and I've been digging and found absolutely no evidence that on this tank they add that. I haven't, it may be out there, but I haven't been able to find anything yet, so it's all indications I have this is not correct on the model. The 2A7 later ones did have that, but not the V's. The V's do not, so that's something you're going to have to not do if you want to make it accurate. Now, some of the other countries have similar tanks. They have that, so it's a good part to hang on to if you're going to do other versions, but not this one. They also have all the details that are underneath the side skirt wings, including this part here, which is a really nice detail part, which the actual tank has, versus a lot of the models don't have that feature, that have this bag underneath, where this one actually goes that route. That's a really neat quality. As I said, there's lots of parts here. You're on continuing building all the armor and different aspects, going through the baskets. Now, I would recommend when you're building this model, because you have to put a decal underneath this thing, you may not want to add this. The way it's set up here, you can easily build it and attach it after the fact. This is also another feature that the early versions of this tank, when it came into service, they did not have these baskets. They were added on later on, so they did have the mounting points, but they didn't have the actual baskets. So you can, if you're doing, like I said, doing the early version of this, you don't put that on, and that would be accurate. Oh, another point here, going back, and I've seen this in the 2A6, they had the same thing. The simulator here does not have the cable system, which runs up through here and goes inside the gunner's hatch, I believe. There's no cable set up, so you have to add that on after the fact with your scratch building, like wire or something else. They do have the option to have all these different stowage baskets and boxes open or closed. They have a really great detail inside. That makes a really nice feature. They have your personal sidearm bags here, which are a vinyl bag that sits on top of the tank. One carries the MP7 machine gun, and the other carries the, I believe it's the G36 folding stock rifle here. And then they have two more up here. They also have more MP7s inside the tank, but that's not in the model because it doesn't have the interior. You have your computer system here on the 2A7V. They modified this so that both the gunner and the commander can use it. And then also they have a mount on the back of the hatch where they can put it back here also. So like when they're backing up or they've got the turn around, they can have access and utilize that device. That's pretty much the build process here. They have a little bit of details. Here's one of the things that's really hard on this model, is this part's very delicate. It's absolutely stupendously highly detailed and accurate to scale, and it's ridiculously small, so it's really hard to make that not get broke off, but that is there. They have a lot of decals. Looks like they corrected the decals, so all these labels are in correct German for the deck of the engine area. And then the numbering system, which they've done correctly on the 2A6s, it's on the side of the smoke launchers. On the 2A7s, it's on the front, so it's not visible from the side. That's a good part on their part there. Then you go into your camo schemes. This looks correct. Digging into the actual schemes, they don't show the top though. So you've got your sides, but not the top, which is there's a lot of detail there. But they do have the sides and the different units. All of these are from the 393rd Panzer Battalion, but they don't have any other units that have this in service. This is as of March 2022. Now, you have these parts here which do add to it, and definitely a lot of little parts to add, but it looks real nice once finished. They have a front and a back to that on how to go about that process. Now, looking at the different styrene parts, you've got the turret here. My kit had this little rod here broke. I was able to glue it on. It sits in a little box, but it was broke. And then this part here was bent, but I was able to correct that. Other than that, there was no broken parts inside the model. You can see all the detail on this. The non-skid is looks accurate. You also have some logo and labeling here, which the actual tank has, and then all the little detail parts here. Inside here, you have some interesting little telltales. These parts here are if you do a full interior. So this has it. I don't know, like I said, if they're going to introduce the full interior, but it does have those features. So hopefully that's in the future for this model. Then you also have some different points you have to drill out there. Here's going to be the top of the lower hull, and you can see here all the details on it, the non-skidding little points here. This is covered up with the plate. You have your fueling access ports here. You have your air conditioner for the driver here. Lots of good little details there. Really well cast. Looking at this sprue sheet, this is number E. This is going to have your barrel, your side skirts, different components, different hatch covers, these bags, which look really nice. Also, another thing I like about the Rye-Filled kit is the slide molding parts here actually has the fiberglass pattern on it for the fume extractor. Most models it's smooth. This is how it looks on the real model. It's got a real distinctive fiberglass texture to it, and that's that part there. This is going to be sprue sheet W. You can see your upgraded armor plating for the undercarriage here. Your G36 machine guns in the box here with the non-skid on top. Different covers. This is the auxiliary generator here for power. Really good detail there. Different components and parts showing your hatches, radiators, things like that. This will be more parts of the turret, the blow-off panel here for the ammunition, your simulator here, the ring for turning the turret, and then your forward protection plates here. They even have all the little bolt patterns. Really neat, and if you look under a microscope you can even see the bolts there, so I like how they did that. This is going to be sprue sheet U. You've got your armor plating and the front of the driver, along with other parts. You have a second set of side skirts here, or not side skirts, but wings for the turret. These are the ones you actually use, the other ones are not. You have your snow grouts here. It would have been nice if they made these where you could put them in or out, but they're in already, so you can't do much with that. You have your side armor. These are the rear mounts for the extra track links and the snow grouts. You can also here either not put this on for the early version, or you can put it on with the initial version, which just had a extra track link, or you can add it for the newest version that has the snow grouts on either side. So that's a neat feature also. You can do one of 3 different generations of this model. This is the lower hull, and sprue sheet F. You also have your M protection plates here. You can see them in here, the extra armor they added on, so this isn't just thrown in there. They actually have the armor plating, plus this is all really accurate, highly detailed for all these different panels that can be removed during maintenance and that. This is going to be your sprue sheet P. You've got the plate that sits behind the commander, some of the hatch mounts, or the boxes on the sides of the turret. You have the side skirts with the vent that the V has, and then these components, your radio holder here for the antennas, these 2 pieces here. This is sprue sheet N. You can see the snow grouts that go on that back mount, along with your track links. These are parts of your side basket that sits on the turret, and you have the drive sprocket here on the V. This is changed, and this is more of a rounded shape in here. They have that done here accurately and correctly. That's a neat feature. And then you have your extra spent ammunition here with the rods for the firing mechanism. Neat feature that they added that in the model. This is sprue sheet G. This is actually from the 2A6 model, because you can see the 2A6 basket here. But all these parts that you're going to use for this model are identical. The MG machine gun is really highly detailed. You got your sighting system, your hatches, different parts there. These are identical on the 6 versus the 7 Leopard. And then also a neat feature this tank has in the model is your sights are here, and they have the actual sight system with a mirror reflection set up so that it looks more realistic. It's real hard to see honestly in the model, but it's neat, and if you know it's there, it's a neat feature to have. This is going to be sprue sheet B. It looks a lot like another sprue sheet. I'm not sure how many of these parts you're actually going to use, but this is originally from the 2A6 model. That's the 2A6 side skirts, the rear end, and the deck plate. from that model. This is sprue sheet A. You're going to see more of your parts here. This once again is another 2A6. A lot of the parts you're using from that, what are different on the 2A7 you'll not use, but you have that here, so it'll give you some extra parts for other projects. Looking at sprue sheet C, you have all your axles here, and then you've got the different torsion bars, things like that, your road wheels, really good detail, great casting. The mold is outstanding on this. Your recovery hooks here are multiple pieces, so it's more realistic, versus a lot of models it's just one solid part, so that is a neat feature. What you'll see on a lot of German tanks is they reverse this for some reason. So instead of hanging with the hook outward, they actually reverse it where the hook is facing into the tank. You could actually make it more realistic by adding that feature here. That's a neat thing you can do. Here's one of your sprue sheets for your track links. The right-filled track links are outstanding. You do have a couple here you can do if you want to do snow grouts. They have here. Here are all your tracks. You have 3 of these to do all your tracks, and you glue this to the top to the bottom, and then you've got your rod in between that bends, so it goes together quite nicely. This will be sprue sheet M. This is an extra sprue sheet with the model. You get this as part of your upgrade when you buy it early. You can see the different detail parts here. Your saw. This would be the tensioner for the older version non-hydraulic track tensioner. They have that rod there, but you're not going to use that in this model. And then your lifter, hatch lifting device and things like that here. This is the polystyrene parts here, your little caps here, and then you've got your mud flaps here. Now they're neat because they're very flexible, which is more like the realistic one, and then you can, like I said, flip them around. The only bad part is they've got this little in part here. You'd have to patch that if you're going to have them open, because the way they sit, this faces outward, so it would be real obvious, so you'd have to correct that. Here's the clear parts. They're all really good quality clear casting. They don't have any flaws within them I can see on anything. Really adds to the model. You have multiple different headlight setups here. The 2A6, the 2A7, and the other parts like that. This bag here would be one of the parts I talked about. You've got that hose and then some of the connections here. This is for your add-on parts if you're doing the not the plastic, but you want to make your siphoning device, and then you got the rod for the rear reverse right there. And then without going through the instructions, I'm not sure, there's another rod in there, and then there's this little white part. I don't know what that is yet for until I build the model, but lots of good little parts there to build. Here's the decal sheet. What I like is the unit marking here is gray, not white. It's actually gray on the rear ones. They don't have them in white. And you have your computer screen there, your different license plate options, your placarding for your convoy. You have your 4 different iron crosses there, and then your numbers for your smoke launchers. Rifle decided to do the string for your tow line. I don't like that personally. I like it when it's a rod or an actual wire, but that's what they went with. So you just have to make this stiff before you actually install it, or it'll hang weird. But that's what they have there. This is one of 2 PE sheets. They're really nice, very flexible, thin, but not overly fragile. They have a little bit of a spring to them, which is a nice feature. Lots of little ones there. And then on the back side you have more PE sheets for different aspects of the model. Lots of handles and straps and different parts, your shovel, to really dress it up nicely. Here's going to be a resin part in there. You've got your 2 bags that hold the personal sidearms, and then you have your tip of the barrel with the little device for making sure the barrel's firing accurately. It's really, really delicate, high quality design there. It's a neat feature. Looks really sharp, and they have a nice little box so it's protected. Lastly, it has this little piece of paper which tells you when you're putting the box together that you have to glue that and that. Other than that, that's the model. So that's the model. The model speaks for itself. All the great details, quality, lots of parts, lots of great small detail parts. I also like the fact that you do have some options with it as to if you want to build the first generation 2A7V, or if you want to go to the newest version with all the upgrades that they added after it went into service. Either way, like I said, that's the model. Looking forward to starting it soon. Watch for that video. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please like, subscribe. You can get me on Facebook. Any questions or comments on this video or anything else, please reach out to me. I always try and get back to people as fast as possible. Take care, everyone. Happy modeling, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.